Hey everyone, this is Dale Berkebile, and I want to welcome you back to the Tao Te Ching review, the Tao review. Really, this is a program that I'm doing for the Hellagood Life brand, and the whole thing about, what is a Hellagood life? It's all about living your best life. And so the reason that I'm reviewing the Tao Te Ching is because I think it's a really good roadmap for helping you find ways to live your best life. And we're going to talk about something really cool today that I think is an important piece of that mix. Again, my name is Dale Berkebile. My purpose in life is to challenge people to become innovative leaders so that we can change the world together. And I think that as we do the Tao, if we practice the Tao, we can actually do those things. You can become a more innovative leader, and also we can work to change the world together. And so, with that being said, today we're going to be talking about the third verse. And I'm going to go ahead and read it, and I'm going to share some thoughts from Wayne Dyer's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, as this was the first introduction I had to the Tao. It was pretty powerful, and I think it's really, really good for Western society. It's good for everyone, but it's easier for Western society to understand the Tao, I think, because the Tao is 2,500-year-old Chinese text. I call it philosophical wisdom of sorts. It's good stuff. So anyhow, here we go. The third verse. Putting a value on status will create contentiousness. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. By not displaying what is desirable, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. The sage governs by emptying minds and hearts, by weakening ambitions and strengthening bones. Practice not doing. When action is pure and selfless, everything settles into its own perfect place. Okay, so that's the third verse, which I think is very powerful. This is all about living contentment. And I'm going to share some of Wayne Dyer's thoughts here. Pursuit of status, be it monetary or position or power, binds us to our relationship to the eternal. To the eternal Tao, along with the contented life that is available. Overvaluing possessions and accomplishments stems from our ego's fixation on getting more. Wealth, belonging, status, power, the like. The Tao recommends refraining from this kind of discontented way of life, which leads to thievery, contentiousness, and confusion. Rather than seeking more, the Tao practice of gratitude is what leads us to the contented life. We must replace personal desires with the Tao-centered question: how may I serve? By simply changing these kinds of thoughts, we will begin to see major changes taking place in our lives. Okay, here's another thought that I found value in. Ego fixated once can get in the way of divine essence. So practice getting ego out of the way, and by guiding the Tao in all that you do. Much of the third verse contains advice on how to govern. I view this not as political or administrative advice, but as it pertains to our own personal lives and those we're entrusted to guide. That is, our immediate family, and in a large sense, the human family that comprises all those with whom we're in contact with on a daily basis. And so, to be honest, part of why I'm doing this, I guess, is really to be in a line with the Tao, to expose these ideas to other people, to try and help them find their way, to help them find the way of the Tao, I guess. Here's some other interesting thoughts by Wayne. Ego and its incessant inventory of desires probably needs to be weakened so that the beauty of the Tao can be sensed. Demonstrate this to others by being a leader who removes the egocentric temptations that foster envy, anger, and competition. Okay, so again, I told you my purpose, to challenge people to become innovative leaders. And in order to do that, I also have to be an innovative leader. So I thought I would help you with this, and I hope this will help you to help others, and we can all become leaders to change the world for the better. Other thoughts here. Remind yourself daily that there is no way to happiness. Rather, happiness is the way. So I think a lot of times we get focused on external items and chasing. I've been talking a lot about the hedonic treadmill lately in my blog articles and things like that. If you've read any of that stuff, that's kind of what that's focused on. Letting go of some of the external areas and focusing on the internal. By staying in harmony on the path of the Tao, all the contentment you could ever dream of, will begin to flow into your life. Right people, the means to finance where you're headed, and the necessary factors, will come together. Stop pushing yourself, Lao Tzu would say, which Lao Tzu is the author, and feel gratitude and awe for what is. Your life is controlled by something far bigger and more significant than the petty details of your lofty aspirations. Trust the perfection of the eternal Tao, for it's the ultimate source of the 10,000 things. And 10,000 things is everything in the world, so it's all the things that we have. And here's his thoughts on how to practice the Tao. Do the Tao now, he says. Watch for an opportunity today to notice that you're planning on buying something. Choose to do the Tao and listen for guidance. Be grateful that you have the choice to make the purchase. Then practice listening to yourself and not doing. Through your feelings, the Tao will reveal the way for you in that moment. Trust it. You might be guided to buy the item and savor it with gratitude. Donate it, procure one for yourself and one for someone else. Give the money to a charity instead of getting the item, or refrain from obtaining it altogether. Practice doing the Tao every day in everyday situations, and you'll know contentment in a deeper sense. As this verse says, when action is pure and selfless, everything settles into its own perfect place. Now that's my definition of contentment. Okay, so let's review a little bit about the verse. Putting the value on status will create contentiousness. And so here's the thing. If we put value on status, or, that means I'm better than you, or someone else is better than all of us. That creates animosity in between the group, the people, right? So that's kind of that's kind of a problem, or could cause some problems. If you overvalue possessions, people will begin to steal. And so I think our big thing in society today, or in my local community, I see many people struggling because our local community has a fair amount of crime of people, kids and whatnot, that rifle through vehicles or different things like that. So there's little petty crime around the neighborhood. And often people talk about, getting guns or getting, security systems and all these things. And what that's doing is it's putting value on the stuff. And so the rest of society that doesn't have that kind of stuff sees that that's important and I should go and get it. Right? And so instead of wanting to get a gun to protect my stuff, instead of getting a security system to protect my stuff, what if we didn't value this stuff or put such a high value on the stuff? If we could change that as a society, we would probably change a lot of the crime in society. By displaying what is desirable, okay, putting value on all that stuff we have, you will cause the people's hearts to remain undisturbed. So if we take that value away, the criminals potentially don't feel a desire to go chase stuff. Now, this is just my interpretation, so by all means, study it yourself and find your own thoughts. The sage governs by emptying minds and hearts, by weakening ambitions and strengthening bones. Okay, so that's something we'd have to dig a little bit deeper into. Practice not doing. When action is pure and selfless, everything settles into its own perfect place. And I think that's a really important piece. If whatever we do in life can be focused on being pure, looking out for all people, being selfless, that's when society thrives. And so anyhow, this is the Tao, the third verse. Thank you so much for watching. Share your thoughts. What do you think about this contentedness? Yes, and if you would, answer that question in the comments below. If you like, subscribe, or share this, I'd be thankful. And I wish you well. You have a great day.